Fellow Nigerians, Nigeria's national motto is unity and faith, peace and progress. Sadly, today, we can all testify that due to bad governance, there is no unity, no faith in country, no peace, and sadly, no progress. Section 14, subsection 2b of the Nigerian Constitution as amended states that the welfare and security of the citizens shall be the primary purpose of the government. Any government that fails in providing either security or welfare has failed completely. Today, our government, past and present, have failed to provide the two basic objectives of welfare and security to Nigerians as enshrined in our constitution. It is no longer news that our country, Nigeria, has never been this bad. Whoever denies this is either profiting from government or aspiring to get appointed into office. The government of Nigeria is now preparing to borrow money to finance our entire 2019 budget because the country is now extremely broke because few persons have looted it dry for our youths and future generations to pay. Federal legislators continue to earn more than any president in the world, while 100 million Nigerians live in extreme poverty. Salaries and pensions of Nigerian workers are either stolen or delayed, while ex-governors and their deputies receive salaries in the name of pension for life, despite the fact that Nigeria is already owing 22.4 trillion naira. Meanwhile, jailed Senator Joshua Darie continued to receive 14.2 million naira monthly salary in prison from the Senate for doing nothing. Children die daily because their parents could not afford 1,000 naira to buy malaria medicine. But under Buhari's failed government, Nigeria moved to secure $300 million loan to fight malaria. Where is the money? Is malaria not killing our children? President Buhari recently said that Nigeria loses 400 million naira annually because of health tourism. The same Buhari that arrogantly refused to disclose to Nigerians how much is spent from the treasury of our government for the 117 days that he stayed in the United Kingdom to seek medical care. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. Under Buhari, budget for Aspiration clinic is higher than all the 16 teaching hospitals in Nigeria. Yet, according to Aisha Buhari's wife, there was no syringe in the Aspiration clinic when she checked. Where is the money? Buhari worsened our problem as a people by appointing himself Petroleum Minister. According to Ibe Kachuku, Minister of State for Petroleum, and Shetima Bana, acting chairman of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Nigeria has lost 60 billion naira, $60 billion, I beg your pardon, $60 billion from petroleum revenue under Buhari. This is just one section of NNPC revenue loss. Fellow Nigerians, at the rate of 360 naira to a dollar, $60 billion is 21.6 trillion naira. That is enough to finance our national budget for almost 3 years without borrowing. That amount is the national budget of Rwanda for 25 years. That is the national budget of Uganda for 7 years. It can comfortably take care of the budget of Ghana for 5 years. $60 billion is the national budget of Tanzania for 5 solid years. Where is the money? Now, the government is set to borrow 8.8 trillion naira to fund the 2019 budget. And they want to increase VAT so that Nigerian workers will fund their minimum wage of the so-called 30,000 naira. Then they will increase the price of fuel very soon. Just watch out. The poor masses always pay for the loot and the mismanagement of the Nigerian politician. Aisha Buhari publicly and confidently informed Nigerians that two men have taken over the government of Nigeria, meaning that her husband is just in office but not in power. She further called on Nigerians to rise up and reclaim their country. with a sincerity of purpose, do we have any reason to wait a minute longer before we take action? We cannot accept that uncommon violence and militarization of the last election coup that allowed Buhari to regain power for a second term. No. It is unacceptable for a man to ride into office with the blood of Nigerians and we end up calling him Excellency. No. After the elections, we are continually slaughtered with a retired army general in office. Muslims, Christians, and people of all tribes and religion are being killed, mostly in the north, and northerners are just keeping quiet just because Buhari is from the north. As at now, terrorists have surrendered Nigeria in the name of herdsmen. Nobody is safe. The current killing in Borno, Yobe, Nasarawa, Sokoto, Katsina, Kaduna, Benue, Plateau clearly shows that we have an irresponsible, unreliable, and nonchalant government. The daily killing going on in the north recently forced the Northern Elders Forum Secretary to cry out. It describes the killing as a cataclysmic collapse of security and colossal threat to life and property. Pregnant women are butchered, others are raped, and children are stabbed to death. Nigeria is now a concept of an ungoverned state. In the name of xenophobia, they continue to slaughter, stab, stone, shoot, and kill our people in South Africa and other countries because they know that our country has no value for our lives at home. We vehemently refuse to accept this. The government of South Africa is allegedly supporting its people to kill our people in their country. Because you cannot explain a situation where for 30 minutes they stone somebody to death, the police is not coming, nobody is coming, they tie somebody, put the person on the street and stone the person to death for almost an hour, and the police of South Africa is not responding. Why? Because they know that where those people are coming from, their governments don't care. Colonialists struggled and partitioned Africa and forcefully stole our people as slaves. This led to our struggle for independence. Today, Nigerian rulers continue to desperately struggle and partition our collective national resources for themselves and their families and take our money back to the same countries of the slave masters. Nigeria is still being teleguided by colonialists till today. 13.2 million Nigerian children continue to live aimlessly on our streets. Many of them are being used as suicide bombers and others for ritual purposes. The number of homeless Nigerian children is equivalent to the population of nine European countries of Ireland, Slovenia, Luxembourg, Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, Iceland, Malta, and Cyprus. Children that are abandoned and used by politicians every 4 years as underage voters. Nigerian politicians, they stole our wealth, made us hungry, and offered Ijebu Gari, kuli, popcorn, and rice to our poor people to vote for them against their wish. It is now very clear that we urgently need a second independence from this form of colonialism. President Buhari has clearly shown that it is extremely difficult for him to tackle security and hunger in Nigeria. This government has no direction. This government has failed. It has failed. 4 years is enough to know that. Nigerians in diaspora, under the platform of the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria, currently located in 40 countries, are very grieved at what is happening back home. Because what is happening is directly opposite to what tribes in normal societies. The time has come for all principalities and powers in Nigeria to fall. Therefore, we demand as follows. 1, that retired General Muhammadu Buhari must resign from office as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 2, that retired General Muhammadu Buhari must not be sworn in and recognized as the president of Nigeria. He cannot militarize our election, kill our compatriots, and expect to ride to power with the blood of Nigerians for us to call him excellency. No! 3. Urgently amend the very faulty Nigerian constitution. 4. Senators and members of the House of Representatives must receive salaries according to the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We cannot borrow to pay the salaries of people who don't care for the poor, who don't care for the country. From today, anywhere you see politicians, shout no. Don't stop shouting no. Keep shouting no. Point number 5. We the people, we say no to borrowing to fund our 2019 election. We are too rich to be poor. Our leaders, or rulers, they even steal what they borrow. They share what they borrow. Point number 6, the full list of Nigerians killed during, before, and after the 2019 elections must be published. They are us. 7, restructure Nigeria now and apply the recommendations of the 2014 National Conference. Billions were spent for that conference and cannot be wasted. Point number 8, government must respect the rule of law by releasing Nigerians under unlawful detention as ordered by our court. Persons such as Sambo Dansuki, El Zakzaki, and others. Those found guilty by the court should be made to face the law. You cannot just hold people indefinitely. No. When the law has ordered that they should be released. No. Point number 9. Unban IPOB as a terrorist group. IPOB is not a terrorist group. 10. Declare the murderous S-men as a terrorist group. That is what they are. 11. End all forms of pension for ex-governors and their deputies. They came to serve and cannot be state liabilities for life. 12. Muhammadu Buhari must publish what he spent from public treasury for 117 days for medical care in the United Kingdom. It is public money. He is Mr. Integrity. He should publish it. Point number 13. Government must immediately put an end to security votes which are paid to state governors monthly and other government officials. Security vote is not in the Nigerian constitution. That is an illegal payment. Governors steal this money, protect themselves and their families, and expose the rest of us to killing by X-Men and Boko Haram. Use security votes to expand and empower our security agencies. Fellow Nigerians, this is not a regional revolution. Northerners have ruled for a longer period of time, but they are the beggars and gatemen in other parts of the country. That shows that even northern leaders, they failed. They failed. This is not a regional revolution. More persons are being killed in the north and in the middle belt. How did we come this low? Nigerians are naturally beautiful people. We are a resilient lot. Everybody knows. Nigerians are intelligent. We thrive in the midst of hardship. We shake hands with foes, looking at them directly in the eyes. We are intelligent, strong, and ambitious. But today, we are completely broken by our politicians. But we say no. The time has come for the sleeping giant to rise from slumber. We must experience freedom in our time. We must experience national pride and liberty in our time. We must enjoy the resources of our country in our time. In our time, we must enjoy unity, faith, peace, and progress as written in our national motto. And the time is now. The time has come for us to speak with one voice and say no. This evil wall must fall. Nigeria must be free. Nigerians, come out now. Come out and break the evil wall. Now. What do we do? Fellow Nigerians, the power is in our hands. Understand that we are not affiliated to any political party. Our country, Nigeria, comes first. Whether you are from the north, south, east, west, IPOB, Oduduwa, Middle Beltan, Arewa, Niger Delta, Christian, Muslim, Jews, Buddhists, pagan, traditionalists, musicians, Nollywood, Nigerian Labour Congress, Nigerian Bar Association, Trade Union Council, Nigerian Association, or National Association of Nigerian Students, market men and women, artisans, social, professional, or cultural groups. The time has come for us to be unified with one voice on a common platform, with your unquenchable enthusiasm to grab this God-given opportunity to protest by way of non-violent revolution against Nigerian politicians that have stolen our resources and held our country hostage against the collective aspirations of the majority and the dream of our founding fathers. We must not be deceived by the Nigerian politicians who quarrel for us to see in public, but they gang up behind us to loot us dry. Stop seeing the other person as Yoruba, Igbo, Urobo, Hausa. Remove that from your brain, because that is what politicians want you to see, so that you don't see what the real problem is. But they are the real problem. Our strength lies in our diversity as a people. We hereby declare a people's revolution in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in the ideology of revolution without ammunition. It is a civil resistance to oppression. It is resistance to the killing of innocent Nigerians and your common hardship in the land. It is a non-violent civil action to set our country free. Nobody must be killed. Nobody must be killed in this revolution. No houses must be burned. No tires must be burned on our street. As from 1st of May 2019, all Nigerians should stay at home. It will be foolish to celebrate Workers' Day when your take-home pay cannot take you home, when you always borrow before your salary comes, when your salaries are delayed for months and your pensions never come, when your governors feed fat, cruise around with sirens and their arrogance while you die under the sun waiting for your pension. Fellow Nigerians, no May Workers' Day this year, 2019. No going to work of any type until these demands are met. You could begin your street protest now if you wish. Do not wait for somebody to galvanize or organize you. Organize yourselves. But the key advice is that we should all stay at home as from 1st of May. Not only on that day, every day from 1st of May. Go and stock your food and water. No transportation, no banks, no market, no court, no opening of any type of shop or workshop. If your shop is looted because you open it, that is your own concern. It does not concern us. It is enough of bamboo they work, bamboo they chop. All their big houses built with our stolen money is what we are going to take back and turn to the schools and hospitals they refuse to build. All their children schooling abroad and their luxurious lifestyle is our money. Soon we shall protest in all countries where our politicians have houses so that they could be seized. Do not ever think or say that we live abroad and we are calling you to protest and fight for your right at home. We have been fighting from here, and we shall continue to do that. Nigerians in diaspora protested in the United Kingdom severally when Buhari traveled there to seek medical attention. Nigerians abroad protested in the US when Atiku Abubakar traveled there before the presidential election. Google our video in 2017 as the president of the Nigerian Association in Hungary. I led Nigerians, I said with all sense of modesty, I led Nigerians to protest before the Prime Minister of Hungary, before the Parliament of Hungary, to stop 54 million euro loan, which the Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Damu, wanted to get from this country. According to him, they needed that money to study the causes of overflowing of River Niger and River Benue. With 5 pages of letter, I was able to argue and to convince the government of Hungary that that money was going to be stolen. We know our people. To study, and you have engineers in your ministry, study the causes of flooding. 54 million euro is 22 billion naira. If Nigerians living in Hungary had not moved, if we had kept quiet, Nigeria would have been owing 22 billion naira now for a wasteful project. We did not call you to come and fight for us here. We fought for you from here. Fight now since you are in Nigeria. What you suffer at home is very painful to us here because we see, and what we see and what we enjoy here is something that every Nigerian is supposed to be enjoying in Nigeria. I know that after this speech, hired blackmailers, character assassins, and attackers will rise up. But we must remain focused. Whenever God raises men to lift you up, Satan also will raise men to pull you down. Such persons shall not only scatter for our sake. There's already a spiritual agreement that their skin will cleave to their bones, because it is written that they shall wrap curses around themselves as a garment. Nigeria must be free. Fellow Nigerians, believe 100% that you shall see more actions from our global coalition, which is already in many states in Nigeria. In the countries where we currently have chapters, we shall not allow any demonic Nigerian politician to come here and borrow, thereby giving our people another cause to be hungry, another cause to die in the Mediterranean Sea in their quest to escape from Nigeria. Nigeria is richer than 12 European countries put together. But our leaders, they want our people to eat with pigs, like the prodigal son. No, God forbid. They looted Nigeria and borrowed from countries that have managed their resources very well. Countries that have no natural resources, yet we have 34 mineral resources spread across 430 locations in Nigeria, benefiting only a few. Even foreigners are coming to mine in Nigeria illegally. If not for the Zamfara massacre, how many people knew that we have huge deposit of gold there in Zamfara state? Yet Zamfara is one of the poorest states in Nigeria. We congratulate the soldiers of Sudan and Algeria for supporting their citizens to shout no. Patriotic, gallant soldiers who refused to be bribed or intimidated so that their country could be free from poverty and oppression. From 1st of May 2019, arise my people, we have endured long enough. Nigeria belongs to each and every one of us. We did not escort anybody to Nigeria. Print your t-shirts, write on walls, write on stickers, etch it in your hearts. Buhari must go. Buhari must go. We must say no to the swearing in of Muhammadu Buhari, no to the insecurity and killing of Nigerians in and outside Nigeria. We must say no as a people to the continuing governmental borrowing, no to life pensions for ex-governors and their deputies, no to Boko Haram and their sponsored herdsmen, no to unlawful detention of Nigerians against court ruling, no to the abuse of the rule of law, no to budget padding, no to federal legislators and their bogus earning, no to salaries and pension delays, no to evil political ancestors that have refused to die and made themselves godfathers who continue to prevent us from voting, no to the continued looting that has made us a mockery to the world. We must say no to everything that has put us down as a country. My people, we must arise and begin to say no. Say no. Don't stop shouting no.
To relent, people should continue to fight, continue to talk against the few that dominated the government. Our votes were 15-point-something million last election, and after that, only for us to be dominated by two people that hinders a collective teamwork that we have started, which is totally unacceptable. And if 15.4 million people can bring in a government, and only for the government to be dominated by two people or three people, why are the men of Nigeria, why are the Nigerian men, what are you doing? Instead of them to come together and fight them, they kept visiting them one after the other, licking their shoes. I'm sorry to use that word. Instead of saying no, they should continue to say no. we should continue to say no. Because this is the future, not of my age, not of my husband's age, but the future of our children and our grandchildren. We are talking about better Nigeria. We are talking about Nigeria where all those that had a brain drain that went to another country to work should come